Quinn here, and today I wanted to give you all 5 tips to improve your strumming technique on the guitar. This lesson is primarily for beginners, but some intermediate players out there may also get some benefit from this video. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to support the channel and see more videos like this. For me, I've found that mostly using wrist motion when strumming is the key to getting faster and improving my strumming endurance. When you use your arm for a long period of time, it can be really tiring, and it's difficult to build the type of strumming speed and accuracy that you might see from somebody like Al Di Meola. By using a rotating motion of the wrist, use a motion that is more ergonomic for your hand, faster and less tiring. I've heard this motion described as being similar to opening a doorknob or shaking water off your hand. Try to keep your entire arm relaxed, especially at the elbow, and focus on the turning motion of your wrist. You may get some slight movement from your forearm, but it should still all be relaxed. A great way to work on this is to practice in fast bursts and tremolos. The type of pick and the angle of the pick can make a huge difference in terms of the sound you get from your strums. While I like angling the pick for fast alternate picking, I do sometimes find that too severe of an angle when I'm strumming can get me a kind of swishy sound with a bit more pick noise than I like. Personally, I like to straighten out the pick a bit so I get a more even sound, especially on an acoustic. I usually worry about this a little less when playing electric, but you should try out a few different pick angles to see what works best for you and gets you the most pleasing sound to your ears. The type of pick you use also makes a difference on the sound. If I'm doing a lot of acoustic guitar recording where I'm mostly strumming, I actually quite like the sound of a thinner pick on occasion, which is the opposite of what I generally use when playing electric. It's hard to describe, but there is a nice click that you get from a thinner pick that can have a nice definition when strumming. For thicker picks when strumming, I quite like Dunlop's Flow Tortex models, as they have a very smooth sound that works great for strumming and in faster single note picking. A big issue people tend to have with their strumming is a significant change in volume and tone when strumming down versus up. While your down and up strums will always sound at least a little bit different, it's worth spending some time trying to even out the volume and tone for the two for more even strums when you need it. Usually it's the up strokes that tend to need more volume. You may want to watch for the angle of the pick as it comes back up so that you're hitting the strings in a similar manner as your down strokes so you get an even volume and tone. Another issue people tend to have is that when they have strum patterns that omit certain down and up strums, they pause their hand, sometimes only momentarily, which causes them to lose their tempo and drag behind the beat, or rush ahead of the beat. A big thing that I emphasize with my students is that your right hand should really be moving the entire time for most strum patterns. If you have a pattern like down, down, up, down, up, you should still be making the upstroke motion on the end of one, but you're just moving your hand slightly away from the strings so that you miss the strings while keeping your hand moving. A lot of the time, I'll verbally call this out as a skip or a ghost strum, a strum you make in the air to keep your rhythm going, but one where you don't actually hit the strings, which is essentially a rest. In practice, this would sound like down, skip, down, skip, down, up. You could also count this in the typical 1 and 2 and fashion for sure if you feel confident with where the skips are. Once you start feeling really confident with your basic strumming patterns, it's time to kick things up a notch and try some trickier patterns. For me, any pattern that emphasizes up strums tends to be a bit more difficult than patterns that emphasize the down strums, so it's worth taking some time to practice and come up with some patterns that stress them. I tend to break down strumming patterns into 2 categories, patterns that are based on 8th notes and patterns that are based on 16th notes. For 8th note patterns, the up strums would fall on the ands of the beats, as in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. This would translate to down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. For 16th note patterns, these would fall on the E and the of each beat, as in 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and or down, up, 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 down, up. One great way to get a good feel for each subdivision of the beat is to strum consecutive 8th or 16th notes and pick a different note to accent or strum harder each time you come around to it. This could be the same subdivision of each note, like one E and two E, and or a very specific one, like maybe the and of three, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then try to see if you can keep that pattern going for a minute or two at a time, preferably with a metronome. Thanks again for watching. This has been Quinn with Quinn Parsley Music. Let me know if there's anything else related to the guitar that you would like some tips on. Feel free to comment it below, and thanks again.